Larry Moya. And defensively for the Giants, on the mound today will be Steven Madrid. Behind the plate is Larry Baca. Over on first base, Johnny Madrid. Playing second base is David Padilla. Playing shortstop is Nicolas Rios. And over at third base is Hector Fabia. Out in left field is Sisto Torres. In center field is Donald Cox. And over in right field is Richard Gonzalez.
Well, Mike, I think we're really in for a treat game. What I understand, what we've been told, these are the two top teams up here in Westgate Little League. So I think we're going to see some real action, some good defense, and some good offense.
While we're getting ready to play at Westgate, Steven Madrid on the mound starting for the Giants. Crucial game between two undefeated teams. We're hoping to see a good ball game. I think you're right, Cliff. I think we will.
Well, we're going to see up. We got the pitcher warming up. We got the fans ready. And we got our cameraman on top. Today's cameraman is Mr. Larry Hyatt, which is a District 5 administrator.
All right, we're getting ready to play. And leading off the game for the Jets will be Richard Gutierrez. He'll be followed by Eddie Driggers, and the third batter is Mark Martinez.
A little bit about Richard Gutierrez. He goes to Truman Middle School, and his favorite subject is math. Another math whiz. Another math whiz up here, Mike. All right.
All right, we're getting ready to play.
And as crucial as any game, I think it's up to the first batter to go ahead and start off. He needs to be on base. I think that's what all coaches look for. They don't look for the power hitter, but they look for the most consistent hitter when it comes to being on first base.
And Gutierrez must have a good bat, probably pretty decent base runner, too. Well, we'll see if he can get on board.
Oh, we see he's not a big guy, so maybe they're looking for the walk on him. Little strike zone in there.
We'll find out soon enough. All right, here goes Steven Madrid to Richard Gutierrez to start the game. There's a shot quickly back to the pitcher, Madrid, who throws over to first for a quick out.
Well, we saw he made the contact, and that's what the first batter is supposed to do. And even sometimes when the first batter, even though he doesn't get on base, if he can make that contact, there's still that little psychological edge. The pitcher can be hit.
You're right. You keep the defense on their toes. Here comes Eddie Driggers. And there's quickly a shot. Goes foul over on the third base side. Well, so far the Jets have showed some aggressive hitting.
Well, they're not scared of him. They've shown that. They're not scared to swing the bat.
Here goes the 0-1 pitch to Driggers. There's swung on, and it's fouled up and out of play. So 0-2 quickly is the count to Eddie Driggers. Steven Madrid throwing some good pitches thus far.
That's true. Madrid has thrown nothing but strikes. I haven't seen a ball thrown yet by Madrid.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside.
Looks like he was trying to get a curve in that just didn't make it quite.
Good eye by Driggers to stay away from that inside pitch. So we have a count of 1-2. One out. We're at the top of the first, no score. There's the pitch, swung on, fouled off. Looks like he took a little something off that pitch, but the batter Driggers wasn't quite fooled.
I think what he's trying to do is try to keep the pitches some slow, some fast. Keep the batters on their toes. In Drake, you're going to find out he also attends Truman. And he's been playing baseball for 3 years.
Meanwhile, Madrid with the strikeout. So he started out with an easy pitch and came back inside with the hard stuff. So we got 2 outs, and here comes Mark Martinez. 2 outs, no score, top of the first. Steven Madrid working on the mound. There's the pitch, swung on for a strike.
And Mark Martinez, he also goes to Truman. You're going to find out a lot of these kids go to Truman. That's the middle school up in the Westgate area. And his favorite subject is social studies.
There's the 0-1 pitch, swung on for another strike. So Madrid consistently throwing strikes, and thus far the Jets batters have been fooled. So with an 0-2 count, there's the delivery. He squares around the bunch, foul, and the batter's out.
All right, tried to do a little trick there, it didn't work. Tried to catch him off guard, he ended up fouling off. And as you know, the rule in Little League, as it is in all the baseball, when it comes to that third strike, and you try to bunt, it goes foul, you're called out.
All right, so at the end of the first inning, our score is the Jets 0 and the Giants coming to bat.
Well, we're going to see how they're going to do what the Giants are coming up with. Why don't you go ahead and give us the batting lineup for the Giants?
All right, leading off for the Giants will be Johnny Madrid. He'll be followed by Larry Baca and then Richard Gonzalez. Batting cleanup was the pitcher, Steven Madrid, followed by Donald Cox, then Nicolas Rios, David Padilla, Hector Favila, and Cecil Torres. Defensively for the Jets, on the mound is James Borrego. Behind the plate is Eddie Driggers. Over on first base is Phil Herrera. Playing second base is Richard Gutierrez. And in the shortstop is Mark Martinez. And rounding out the infield is Art Gutierrez.
Well, they showed us some pitching there, and let's see if Madrid's going to continue with that. But also, at the same time, the visiting team showed us that they were not scared to swing. They took some cuts. What do you think there, Mike?
I think we see some aggressive hitting so far. So far, it looks like it could be an offensive game. A lot of runs scored. By the way, they've been hitting, but the pitchers settled down, threw some strikes. We'll see now what James Borrego can do to stop the Giants.
Well, we got the coaches talking to his batters over there, trying to get them going, saying, we need to get them out. Like any other game, it's always important you get your first man on. And coming up to plate.
All right, here come the Giants. Leading off the game will be Johnny Madrid. On deck is Larry Baca, and in the hole is Richard Gonzalez. All right, we're heading into the bottom of the first. No score. We're ready to play. All right, here goes James Borrego on the mound, ready to pitch now. To the batter is Johnny Madrid, first baseman for the Giants. There's the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. So both pitchers so far showing a lot of aggressive pitching, hitting the inside and outside corners. 0-1 pitch to Madrid. On the outside corner for a strike. So after coming in on the inside corner, Madrid swings at an outside pitch. We got a count of 0-2. The pitch to Madrid, and he got him swinging. So quickly, Johnny Madrid goes down swinging on 3 strikes by James Borrego. Now coming up is Larry Baca.
Is it possible we might see a pitcher's duel in this game?
This is very well possible. Both pitchers are throwing strikes. We'll see if the batters can come around, maybe start timing it by the 3rd and 4th inning. But this far, it looks like it could be. All right, here's Larry Baca. 1 out. Bottom of the first, no score. There's a pitch in there for another strike. So far, 4 straight strikes. 0-1's the count.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you what. Larry is hands through in middle school, and guess what his favorite team is?
I don't know. I give up. What?
It's not the Mets. We have a Dodgers fan here.
And there's a shot quickly lined to the third baseman, Art Gutierrez, who makes a nice catch.
Good defensive play there. Good defensive play by the Jets.
Good reflexes and a nice catch to retire Larry Baca. So here comes Richard Gonzalez. Gonzalez working with 2 outs. Nobody on base. There's the pitch by Borrego. Hits the outside corner for a strike. Continues to work the corners, coming inside and outside with all the pitches. Now working to Richard Gonzalez. Squares around the bunt. All strike 2.
Should have pulled that bat back in as high as that was. No runners on, so there was no... Been better off maybe just taking the ball, and that's it.
It'll be interesting to see what the Jets do here on defense, how they react if he tries to bunt again. See if he bunts with 2 strikes, he doesn't. And the pitch is outside. So ball and 2 strikes.
We got Richard, you know, he attends Marianne Bamford up here, and his favorite subjects are math and writing. Almost everybody we've seen is their favorite subjects are math and writing.
There's a pitch, swung on, fouled off on the third base side.
A little behind on it. I think he maybe needs to choke up. What do you think, Mike?
Could be. Or perhaps even back up a little bit in the batter's box. Or step up and try to get that ball.
Folks can understand Richard collects baseball cards and football cards.
And he gets them swinging. So once again, 3 up and 3 down for both teams, and we're heading into the second inning with no score. All right, leading off the second inning for the Jets is James Borrego. He'll be followed by Art Gutierrez, and Chris Lovato is in the hole. Steven Madrid still working on the mound. Quick inning in the first. Borrego's the cleanup batter. There's a pitch down the outside corner for a strike. Borrego lunges after that one. All right, 0-1's the count. We're in the second inning, no score. There's the pitch again on the outside corner for a swing and strike.
I think the batter's just getting a little anxious there. A little bit anxious.
All right, count 0-2.
Gonna have to protect the plate.
There's the pitch, swung on, foul. All right, did just what you said. Pitch wasn't quite to his liking, but he managed to get a piece of it.
A little bit about the umpires we have out here umping with us tonight. Behind the plate, we have Carlos Sandoval, which is a District 5 umpire and the chief umpire out here at Westgate Little League. And Carlos has been involved for 6 years, and Carlos is quite young. And the other umpires from Westgate Little League, we have Terry Sherman, which has been with Little League for 4 years. And Danny Lopez, which has put 12 years in the league. So out here today, we have a total of 22 years umpiring experience.
All right, here's the 1-2 pitch to Borrego. Swung off for strike 3. So the cleanup batter, Borrego of the Jets, goes down swinging, and here comes Art Gutierrez. Steven Madrid continuing to throw strikes out and over the plate. So this far, the Jets haven't been able to make too much contact.
I'll tell you what, Mike, I like Art. His favorite subject is PE, which was mine when I was in school. But he also likes math.
Okay. There's the pitch. We got a count of 1-0. Art Gutierrez at the plate. Madrid working on the mound. There's the pitch. Fouled out of play on the first base side. That'll bring our count to 1-1.
You know what Art says? He says he likes eating pizzas. I wonder if he's related to the Ninja Turtles. That was her favorite food.
All right, so we got a count of 1-1 to Art Gutierrez. There's the pitch by Madrid. Fouled off again on the first base side. Madrid's working that outside corner, and Gutierrez keeps fouling off over on the first base side.
Shows a good eye on Gutierrez, though, because he's been fouling everything off. He's making contact with the ball, and those are strikes that he's thrown in there.
All right, here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung off for strike 3. So 2 more batters go down to Steven Madrid, and here comes Chris Lovato. Lovato, the right fielder for the Jets. 2 outs, no score, top of the second inning. There's the pitch low for a ball. Nice stop by the catcher, Larry Baca.
Little equipment time out here so the player can try his shoe. And I think that's one of the main things on umpires, besides knowing the rules and that, the primary job of an umpire is to call the game, and what really comes first is the safety of these children.
Here's the pitch. Swung on for strike 1. So we got a count of 1-1 to Chris Lovato. Here comes the delivery from Steven Madrid. Swung on for strike 2. Madrid showing some good pitching, coming inside and outside with those pitches, really keeping the batters guessing.
Like I say, these are the 2 top teams up here, so I'm sure both sides are best pitchers.
There's the ball hit to the third baseman, Hector Favilla, and thrown out at first. So again, 3 up and 3 down, and here come the Jets in the bottom of the second.
We'd like to welcome you back to the game, and here we are coming to the bottom of the second half. We're the home team. The Giants are coming up to bat. So far, we have a scoreless game, 0-0. And coming up to bat
is Steven Madrid, who's done an excellent job pitching so far on the mound. James Borrego still working on the mound. There's a pitch inside for a ball.
I think right now, the way it looks, we've had Giants come up with 3 down. Their first time at bat, 3 up, 3 down. And the Jets have been up. They went 3 up, 3 down both innings. So we have some fantastic pitching going on out here between them.
Meanwhile, there's the ball inside. 2 balls, no strikes to Steven Madrid. James Borrego working on the mound. There's the 2-0 pitch. And fouled out of play.
I have yet to see a batter really pull it around on either one of these pitchers. These pitchers are throwing some good heat and throwing hard. Let's see if they can keep it consistent for 6 innings.
Well, we'll find out. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Steven Madrid. Low for a ball. And for the first time so far in this game, one of our pitchers has gotten a little bit behind the batter. And James Borrego is behind 3 balls, 1 strike.
You know, it's real weird, Mike, that most people's philosophy, they say a pitcher should probably be one of your best batters since they throw the ball, but that's not true all the time. I don't know if you noticed in the pros that the pitchers really never practice batting. Their main job is to throw the ball.
Here comes the pitch. Outside for a ball. And we got our first base runner of the game, Steven Madrid, over on first. Now coming to bat is Donald Cox. Cox is going to try to bring Madrid around into scoring position. No outs. We're in the bottom of the second. There's the pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
I remember when I played Little League, my coach would always say, well, in fact, most of the coaches I had, their philosophy was always take the first pitch. Always take the first pitch or wait for a strike because you have 2 more behind it.
Especially when you come up after a walk. That means the pitcher could be a little frustrated and could throw the ball a little wild. There's the pitch. Swung on, and there's the ball into right field. It gets by the right fielder. Madrid's all the way over to third. He's going to be sent home to score. Madrid's in easily, and Cox is standing on third with a triple. So good piece of hitting by Donald Cox over to right field, and the ball rolled all the way over to the fence. And we have a score of Giants 1 and the Jets nothing. All right, coming about with the runner over on third base is Nicholas Rios. Shows bunt, pulls back, but there's strike call. Still have no outs. 1 run already in. Donald Cox is over on third base.
A little about Nicholas is that Nicholas attends Truman Middle School, 6th grade, and he's been on the team for 2 years. And his favorite team is the Dodgers. It seems that most of these kids like to stay on the West Coast. We got the Dodgers and the Oakland A's.
All right, here's the pitch to Rios with no outs. And swung on and fouled straight back.
All righty, a little break after foul, getting the ball back. Umpire clean off the plate. You know what? Nicholas's favorite subject is social studies. I actually like drawing maps.
With the count of ball and 2 strikes, here's Nicholas Rios, and swung on for strike 2. At this point, it's important for Rios just to make contact, to make some contact, because a ball hit anywhere, especially to the right side of the infield, should score a run.
Here we go. We got the pitch coming in.
All right, here's the pitch by James Borrego. Just missed the outside corner. So we got a count of 2-2 now. Looks like Borrego thought that was a strike.
But it's the blue that has the final decision.
I don't think he'd be arguing that it should be a ball. All right. Here's the pitch to Nicholas Rios. There's the ball fouled off on the first base side. So Rios stays alive, fighting off the inside pitch by Borrego.
I think sometimes it's hard for some of these kids, and almost the majority of them all go to Truman Middle School. And Marianne, Benford, and Cardinals Rays are the three schools that this area pulls from for their players, as far as majors on down. We got a timeout. I think we got the coach out there trying to calm the pitcher, give him a little break there. They're starting to make some contact with him. So I think he's just trying to calm down, say relax, one run isn't nothing. Let's concentrate on the batter at this time.
All right, we're ready to play. Nicholas Rios still at the plate. Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, top of the second, 1 run already in for the Giants. Another runner over on third. There's a pitch that hits the batter.
We got time here. We got time. Hit the batter. Coach has got to make sure everything's okay.
Pitch came inside, and it didn't quite look like Rios could get away from it. And it looks like he's going to be okay.
I think he was looking at a curve, and it just didn't break. But I think that's part of baseball.
So after a hit passage, we got runners at the corners, and here comes David Padilla. Padilla at the plate with no outs. Runners on the corners. Look for Nicholas Rios to be going over to second base, trying to draw a throw from the catcher, Eddie Driggers.
You know, David's been on the Giants for 2 years, and his favorite subject is art. I think about art comes, you got design and everything that goes along with that.
There's a pitch, low for a ball. So really, for the first time this game, James Borrego has gotten into a little trouble, trying to get out of the inning with no outs and runners on the corners.
Think they're going to send that guy down to second, Mike?
I'd have a feeling they would try to draw a throw. Perhaps the ball could get by the second baseman and get another run in. He squares around, shows bunt, doesn't go, and there goes the runner to second without a throw. So the strategy didn't quite work, but they got their runner over to second base. Really nothing that the Jets could do about it in that situation.
I think what they did is when they went for the bunt, I think the guy had no intention of bunting, but it was more of a distraction tactic to have that bunt in front of the catcher and worrying about the ball than even bothered looking at that guy going down.
Right. So we got 2 balls and a strike to David Padilla. Runners on second and third. There's the pitch, swung on, fouled out of play.
Talk a little bit about David also is that he has other siblings that are playing in Little League. He has one that's 14 that's playing the senior division, and he has a younger one that's playing T-ball. So he comes from a baseball family.
Meanwhile, there's a pitch down the middle for strike 3. So after fouling off a few pitches, Padilla strikes out on called strike 3, and we got 1 out, and here comes Hector Fabia. Runners on second and third, 1 out, 1 run already in. Borrego working out of a jam. Hector shows bunt, but doesn't. Count of 0-1. Here's the pitch by James Borrego. Down the middle for strike 2. So, for the first time really this inning, James Borrego's gotten ahead of one of his batters. And could possibly even waste a pitch on this. We'll see what he does. 0-2 pitch to Fabia, outside for a ball. It looked like he was going to see if he could get Fabia reaching at that, but he didn't go for it. So, with runners on second and third, 1 out, and a count of 1 ball, 2 strikes, Hector Fabia at the plate. Trying to bring in a few more runs here in the bottom of the second inning. We had a score of 1-0 Giants. There's the pitch, ground ball to the second baseman who has a little trouble with it, and everybody's safe. Donald Cox comes in to score on a ball hit sharply to the second baseman, Richard Gutierrez, who couldn't quite handle it, and we got runners on the corners. So Nicholas Rios moves over to third base, and Hector Fabia is over on first. And here comes Sisto Torres. 1 out, 2 runs already in. There's a pitch swung on 4 strikes. The runner goes to second uncontested.
this is probably one of the youngest players on this team, being that he does attend Marianne Binford, and he's only in the 4th grade.
Well, Torres trying to bring in some more runs. There's a pitch swung on for strike 2. Good aggressive cuts by Cecil Torres. Couldn't quite make contact though. Trying to bring in 2 more runs.
Gotta put Velcro on all these kids' shoes. That way we won't have to stop for tying shoes.
All right. There goes James Borrego working on the mound. Cecil Torres at the plate. Here's the pitch. Put on for strike 3. So good aggressive swinging by Cecil Torres. Couldn't quite make any contact. And here comes the top of the order, Johnny Madrid.
This is Johnny can help his team out here with just a little hit. I think if they can get the ball out of the outfield, we're going to have 2 runs scored.
Madrid struck out his first time at bat. There's the pitch inside for ball 1. So with 2 outs, runners on second and third, 2 runs have already scored. We got a count of 1-0 to Johnny Madrid. There's a pitch down the middle for strike 1.
Looks a little nervous up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, trying to bring in some more runs, add to their lead. Struck out his first time at bat, tried to get a base hit. Here comes the pitch. Hit the outside corner for strike 2. Nice pitch by James Borrego on the outside corner.
And we got the count of 2 strikes and 1 ball to the batter.
There's the pitch. Swung on, fouled out of play. So Madrid stayed alive, perhaps building up some more confidence now. Knows he can make some contact. See if he can straighten it out for a base hit. James Borrego trying to work himself out of a jam. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. And we've got a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes to Johnny Madrid, the first baseman for the Giants.
Tell you a little bit about All-Stars. After the season's over, for most of these kids, each league puts an All-Star team up. And then we got different levels that they play at.
There's a pitch swung on sharply to the third base, and we can't come up with it, and another run scored. And it looks like 2's going to come in. And Johnny Madrid is on second base. It's a stand-up double as 2 runs come in to score for the Giants. Ball hit sharply between the shortstop and the third baseman, made it out to the left fielder, and 2 runs came in. And here comes Larry Baca with 4 runs already in, and we got to score a 4-0 Giants lead here in the top of the second.
And as I was saying earlier, that these kids, after their season ends, they have an all-star team that hits their way up. And what they're going for is, first they play at district level. From the winner, that goes to state. And from there, they go to regionals, which is in San Bernardino, California. And the winner of regionals, which is the Southwest Regionals, will end up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And that's the game that we always see on the Wide World of Sports.
All right, so here comes Larry Baca. There's the pitch by Borrego, outside for a ball.
Well, he's not putting it down the middle of the plate. He's trying to keep it inside or outside.
Looks like he's kind of trying to strike him out like he did the first inning, but he's got his defense behind him, so see if he can get some help. There's the pitch outside for a ball. Nice stuff by the catcher, Eddie Driggers, to keep the runner going over to third. So 2 outs, top of the second, 2 runs already in. All right, here comes the pitch to Larry Baca. Three balls and a strike. 4-0 Giants lead.
Well, the batter can breathe a little easier now. He has at least 1 strike or 1 pitch to play with.
Johnny Madrid over on second base. 2 outs. Madrid will be going on any ball hit by the batter Baca.
Looks like Borrego stepping back a little. Just take a little breather here. Settle himself down.
Letting up 4 runs never is that good, but it's a lot better than 5. And he walks the batter. So Baca moves over to first base with Johnny Madrid over on second. And here comes Richard Gonzalez.
Richard's a little bit of a versatile player. He plays first base, right field, and he pitches.
There's the pitch inside for a ball, guessed by the catcher's riggers, and the runners will advance. Johnny Madrid moves over to third base, and Larry Baca over to second. On a ball thrown inside and in the dirt by James Borrego.
Well, they're in scoring position again. Another hit to the outfield. Shot, we might have 2 runs.
4 of them have already scored, and we have 2 outs. Top of the second. There's the pitch, swung on, fouled off on the first base side. Ball and a strike to Richard Gonzalez.
I think after the Jets come back in, it's going to be very important that they come out and get a few men on, even just scoring 1 run to keep themselves in the game.
There's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. So 2 outs, top of the second. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the batter. There's the pitch, swung off for strike 3. So James Borrego strikes out Richard Gonzalez, but not before the Giants could add 4 runs and take the lead 4-0 in the middle of the second inning.
Got.
All right, we're back in the second inning, and leading up for the Jets will be Roger Jurado. There's the pitch by Madrid. Squares around the bunch, back to the pitcher, and an easy play over at first.
Well, so far the pitcher of the Giants has been successful on keeping them down. This is already in the 3rd inning, and this is barely a 7th batter. He's gone 1, 2, 3 for the last 2 innings.
Yeah, this is Phil Herrera, the 8th batter. 7 straight outs, working on a no-hitter in the bottom of the second. Herrera shows bunt and can't quite reach it. So 0-1's the count to Phil Herrera.
We're finding that Phil also is a multiple sport player. He also plays Yaffle football.
There's the pitch, swung on for a strike. Herrera was way behind that one. See if he can get a little early on it. No balls, 2 strikes. There's a pitch down the outside corner for strike 3. So Madrid continues to keep throwing strikes, and we got 2 outs.
And as all kids in Little League, when you hit the 3rd strike, they always look at the umpire. That never fails. They'll always look at the umpire. I'll tell you what, we got a timeout here for an equipment adjustment. I got a question for you here, Mike. Joe DiMaggio holds the record for the longest hitting streak. And how many consecutive games did Joe DiMaggio get a hit?
That's a tough one. I don't know. I'm not even going to guess on this one. I don't know.
56 games is what he did.
Wow, 56 straight games.
56 straight games.
Meanwhile, here's Larry Moya at the plate with 1 strike. There's the pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to the batter, Larry Moya. Steven Madrid trying to work for another strikeout. We're in the top of the 3rd. There's strike 3. Oh, pardon me, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 3rd. Our scores, the Giants 4 and the Jets nothing. Trying to get some runs off of a tough Steven Madrid. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
As you see, Steven's one of the taller players that are out there, and he's using all his body to throw that ball. He's just not using his arm. It looks like he's had some good coaching when it comes to pitching.
It gives him good speed and possibly even a little intimidation. And we got a count of full. One thing Madrid does not want to do is start getting in trouble by walking batters. He's been throwing strikes. His defense has done a pretty good job. So far, makes the Jets earn their run. So far, they haven't really made any solid contact. There's a pitch low for a ball. So the first runner's aboard for the Jets. And here comes the top of the order, Richard Gutierrez.
There we got the catcher, just trying to calm down the pitcher a little bit. That's his first walk. So he's still doing good. I think maybe just give him a little break. It is a little warm out here. We don't have a breeze. So these kids are feeling the heat.
All right, here comes Gutierrez. There's the ball swung on down the first base line. It stays fair, and they throw him out at first. But, and so it's 3 outs once again quickly for the Giants. And our score remains the Giants 4 and the Jets 0.
We'd like to welcome you back here at the bottom of the third inning, where we have the Giants ahead 4-0. Mike, who's coming up to bat for him?
All right, for the Giants is Steven Madrid. He'll be followed by Donald Cox and then Nicolas Rios.
If you haven't noticed yet, we got 2 Madrids on the Giants team, and I think they're so much, they look so much alike, they're probably switching uniforms. What do you think? But they're both playing.
There's a pitch outside for a ball.
I wonder if they have a little sibling friction there where since one is pitching, and I hope the ball's hit to the other one, he better catch it.
Or they could be in some serious trouble when they get home. There's the pitch swung out back up the middle. The shortstop, Mark Martinez, can't throw him out at first. He bobbled it when he first caught it and wasn't able to throw him out at first. And here comes Donald Cox. We have few substitutions for you for the Jets. Adrian Johnson's now out in left field. And playing first base is Matthew Chavez. So here comes the pitch to Cox. He made some contact last year. He brought in a few runs. There's the ball back up the middle for a base hit. And the runner Madrid's going to go all the way over to third base. So aggressive base running by the Giants to move a runner into the scoring position.
You know, he didn't even hesitate. He didn't look at the ball. He just kept running.
So more great contact by Donald Cox to keep the 80s free by the Giants going.
That time I called up, got some cleat adjustments. He must have got some rocks or something in his shoe. Or else he's taking out the quarter and keeps in there for the phone call just in case.
Nicolas Rios is going to be coming to bat now.
Well, there we go. Still trying to get the equipment put together. Got to tie the shoelaces back up.
This is really the part of the order that's been getting James Borrego in trouble. This part of the order been making contact, getting on base. This starting with Steven Madrid, Donald Cox, Nicolas Rios. They've all really been making some contact and bringing some runs in. That's evident in our score of 4-0. There's the pitch in there for a strike.
I'll tell you what, those hamburgers sure smell good at this time. Must be lunchtime.
So we got Donald Cox over on first and Steven Madrid on third. We'll see if the runner Cox is going to second with no outs and Nicolas Rios at the plate. There's a pitch low for a ball and the runner's going over to second. Ball didn't get far enough past. And it looks like the catcher Eddie Driggers is shaking up a bit.
He took it in the arm or the shoulder the way he tried to protect the plate and get over. Stop that ball from going through, which is the catcher's job.
And he did a good job. Saved the run by Steven Madrid, who was looking to score.
And you can hear the coaches out there yelling their instructions. Telling the players, let the players know how many out, what's going on.
And for those of you who can't hear the coaches, we'll inform you. There's no out. Have a little talk with James Borrego, the pitcher. One problem I kind of see with Borrego is he's thinking a lot. He's just got to throw the ball over, pretend there's no batter there, feel like he's having a catch. Don't worry about a base hit, just work on the batter. He's got a field behind him. Meanwhile, here's Nicholas Rios. There's a pitch swung on, fouled off on the first base side.
But as you notice, even though they're making contact with Borrego, there's still nobody that's pulling it on him. So he still has the power behind him. And just then, they're sticking their bats out there. And sometimes when you have a fast pitcher that you can't come around on, that's what you have to do. Just put the bat out there and let the pitcher's speed take care of the rest.
There's the pitch swung on, fouled off. Nicholas Rios at the plate with no outs.
And Nicholas has a hobby here. He enjoys drawing.
Well, we see several people who've enjoyed that so far.
Drawing artwork.
There's a pitch for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, something I haven't seen, and that is somebody likes computers. This being the age of computers and everything, I'd figure there'd be somebody in there being a computer whiz.
I don't know, but we see so many artists. Maybe they play baseball on Saturdays and have art club meetings on Sundays.
There you go.
2-2 pitch, low for a ball. Nice stop once again by Eddie Jiggers. So we got a full count. The shortstop Nicholas Rios at the plate with no outs. Runners on second and third. Our score is 4-0 in the bottom of the third. Giants lead.
We got Borrego out there doing a little thinking. Just needs to settle down. He can pitch like he pitched in the first 2 innings. He'll be right back into it.
There's the pitch high for a ball, and he walks it. So we got bases loaded. Now coming to bat is David Padilla. Padilla struck out his last time at bat, trying to bring in some runs with no out. James Borrego's kind of got himself into a jam again. Giving up a few base hits. Walking Nicholas Rios. And here comes David Padilla trying to bring in some runs. There's a pitch outside for ball 1. One thing Borrego started to do now in the last 2 innings, which he wasn't doing in the first, is getting behind his batters. The first 2 pitches, 3 pitches are in there for balls, and he's having to work himself out of a jam. And possibly giving the batters of the Giants the pitches that are there in there to hit. And they've taken advantage of it so far. So we got Steven Madrid over on third base, Donald Cox is over on second, and Nicholas Rios is over on first base. And the batter is David Padilla with the ball and no strikes. No outs, bottom of the third. There's a pitch swung on for strike.
I think if the Jets can come out of this with not letting the Giants score, that'd be a great momentum factor. And get them going. Right now they look a little flat.
So we'll see what Borrego can do about that. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Inside, for a ball.
And as you see, David is not a big target. That's hard for a pitcher. You got a small target in there.
But he is an aggressive hitter, so we'll see what he can do. Taking some good cuts. Hasn't managed to make any contact yet. We'll see what he can do now. There's the pitch in there for a strike. So with the count of 2 balls, 2 strikes, David Padilla at bat with bases loaded. Trying to add to a 4-run lead that the Giants have with no outs in the bottom of the third. There's the pitch by James Borrego. And it's in there for strike 3. So aggressive swinging by David Padilla, but he can't manage to bring in any runs. And here comes Hector Padilla. Hector Padilla had a base hit last inning. and was a big part of the scoring by the Giants. We'll see if he can do it again with 1 out and bases loaded. There's the ball swung on to the shortstop. Mark Martinez throws over to second, and a run comes in to score. So Steven Madrid comes in to score on a ball hit sharply to the shortstop by Hector Favia. Martinez had a choice to go to any bases hit, chose to go to second and get it out. So with 2 outs, and here comes Michael Garcia, who just subbed into the game for the Giants. 2 outs, runners on the corners. There's a pitch outside for a ball. We'll see if the runner Favia over on first is going to second. Donald Cox is over on third. There's the pitch for a ball, and the runner goes over to second.
A little bit about Michael is that he goes to Marianne Banford. He is in the 5th grade, and he has been with Little League for 7 years. He's been on this team for 2 years, so he's one of the veterans on this team.
And he's trying to bring in some runs here. There's the pitch. There's the ball hit sharply to center field. Center field to run is getting under it, and he makes the catch.
Protected his eyes on that one. There's a little bit of sun. He protected. He did it good.
On a ball hit solid by Michael Garcia. And we're got a score of Giants 4 and the Jets nothing.
4th coming up for the Jets.
All right, we're starting off with Eddie Driggers. Steven Madrid still working on the mound. Driggers struck out his last time at bat. And Madrid starts him off with a strike.
It's about the batter. He is the catcher for the opposing team. He's been doing some fantastic catch. He's stopping that ball.
There's the ball fouled off. We got a few substitutions for you. For the Giants, Joseph Padilla is now going into right field, and Nicholas Marlowe will be playing second base. For the Jets, Jake Tapia will be batting in place of Chris Lovato in right field, and Matt Chavez is going to be batting in place of Phil Hanetta. Adrian Johnson will be batting. There's the ball hit sharply back to the pitcher Madrid, who throws him out at first.
The Jets are making some contact, but it just seems that they're hitting right back to the players. They're not really making the Giants play defense. They need to hit some of those shots up the hole, some hard shots. They're making contact. They just need to do a little placing on them.
Yeah, you're right. Well, this far Madrid's been tough enough that right now you're just basically anything you hit. There's the ball hit sharply fair down the third base side by Mark Martinez. He's around first over to second. He's going to be waved into third. There's going to be a play at third. And he's in there safe. So a triple by Mark Martinez down the third base line. And for the first time this game, the Jets have a runner in scoring position.
That might be the spark they needed. You notice that he didn't hesitate at all when he was running around those bases. If he had, he would have been out.
The ball was hit sharply all the way over into the left field corner. A nice job by Michael Garcia to get the ball and throw it in. But it wasn't in time, and Mark Martinez is in easy. And it looked like the ball just kind of slipped out of Steven Madrid's hand, and that'll balk in a run.
And the ruling on that, once the pitcher starts his motion, he must follow all the way through with it and deliver the ball. As you see, he started his motion, but when he went to pull his arm back, the ball dropped out. So the run automatically came in.
So after a triple by Mark Martinez, a balk by Steven Madrid brings in a run, and we got a score of 4-1.
Oh, we got time called. They got a coach looking at a player.
James Borrego's the batter. Well, we still got no outs. Looks like we're going to have a substitution coming in.
David's going in for Texas. Player receiver. David what? Padilla.
Hector Padilla seemed to be shaken up a bit, and David Padilla will replace him over at third base.
Well, there's run. Let's see if it sparks the team.
There's the pitch with no out. It's solid over down past center field, and Borrego rounds first, is going over to second, and he's going to be sent all the way over to third. There's going to be a play, but not in time. So So finally, the Jets start to get some solid hitting out of their lineup. Seems they're now timing Steven Madrid. And James Borrego is in the third with a triple. And here comes Art Gutierrez.
It's amazing. These last two batters, last time they were up,
There's a pitch fouled off.
they all struck out against the pitcher. Madrid. I think, like I say, they're starting to settle down a little. And time him. Go ahead and use his speed against him. All they got to do is put the bat out there and let the ball go.
All right, here's Art Gutierrez. There's a pitch inside for a ball. So for the first time this game, the pitcher, Steven Madrid, after throwing strikes and constantly getting the Jets out in order in the first 3 innings, has gotten into some trouble. 1 run already in, and the runner, James Borrego, is over on third. Pitch outside for a ball. Nice stop by the catcher, Larry Baca. Still have no outs here. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 4-1's our score. Giants lead. James Borrego over on third base. Our batters are Chiquetti. Pettis struck out his last time at bat. There's a pitch fouled off in our direction. What's the matter, Cliff? Not too confident in this little chain link?
Just an automatic reaction. I used to be a catcher and always saw a ball like that. Just a reaction, just a reaction.
Sorry, I think my eyes were pretty much closed on that one, too. So here comes Gutierrez. There's a pitch swung on for strike. So Steven Madrid settles down and strikes out Art Gutierrez. And we got 1 out. And here comes Jacob Tapia, who just subbed into the game. Tapia comes to the plate with 1 out and James Borrego over on third base. Steven Madrid trying to work himself out. It's really his first stand he's got into this game. There's the pitch, just missed. Ball 1. First time we see Jay Tapia so far this game. See if he can bring in another run. They're down by 3. There's a pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Sign of a good pitcher there. Turns around, gets himself in trouble. He's coming back strong, though. Getting his confidence back, it looks like.
And here's the pitch. Just missed for a ball.
And here comes the pitch.
Low for a ball.
Very important that these batters keep their eye on that ball. They need some runs.
All right, here's the pitch. Inside for a ball, and he walks him. So here comes Roger Jurado with runners on the corners and only 1 out. Steven Madrid trying to work himself out of a jam. We'll see if the runner Tapia goes. And he does it on this pitch. There's a pitch low for a ball. The Jets threatening to add to a deficit of 3 runs. Our score is 4-1, Giants lead. Steven Madrid, who was virtually hitless in the first 3 innings, has now gotten into some trouble. And we got a count of 1-1 to Roger Jurado. So far the runner isn't going. Here's the pitch outside for a ball. And the runner's not going.
I'll tell you what, Mike, you might know this one. A little trivia here.
All right.
Who hit the most home runs in one season?
That would be Roger Maris.
Roger Maris. That's right. That is correct. How many did you hit? Do you know that?
I don't know exactly how many. I know that him and Mickey Mantle were in a tough battle coming down to the end when Mantle got hurt and Maris came away with the victory. But I'm not too sure how many he hit.
It was 61. 61 in one season. You got to imagine back then when Roger Maris was playing back in the 60s, they don't have the schedule they had now. And I think that's one of the things when Hank Aaron passed Babe Ruth and took the record, they were saying that because look how many games Babe Ruth and some of the people he passed played.
Right. There's the pitch, and there's the ball hit. Foul on the third base line.
Looks like he jammed him there. Put that ball inside, he took a swing.
So it's one out, Jurado stays alive.
I think maybe the innings and the heat that's out there are starting to get to the pitcher Madrid. Might be slowing up just a little.
We'll see what happens. And here comes the pitch. Inside, and he fouls it off. Tried to jam him again, but Jurado stays alive.
I think what he did, that was more of a defensive move.
Self-defense. So we got James Borrego over on third base, and Jake Tapia over on first. Here comes the pitch, one out. Swung on for strike three. So he works himself out of a jam, but one run comes in, and we have a score of Giants 4 and the Jets 1. All right, we're ready to start the fourth inning, and leading it off for the Giants will be Steven Madrid. Madrid had a base hit his last time at bat. Giants are ahead 4-1.
I think it's time for the Jets to put a little defense on. Borrego to settle down because they're not out of the game yet.
James Borrego working on the mound. There's a pitch hit solidly down the first baseline. It's going to get by the right fielder. And there goes Madrid over to second. He's going to hold up there. So with the ball hit sharply down the first base line, he moves all the way over to second. So more aggressive hitting by the Giants as Madrid is in there with a stand-up double. So Johnny Madrid's over on second base, and here comes Larry Baca. So we got as confused as the most people between the Madrids. That was Johnny Madrid with a shot down the first base line. And here comes Larry Baca. There's a pitch swung on to the shortstop who can't quite handle it. And Baca's in there on first. The ball was hopping around the infield on that ball, hit to Mark Martinez, who couldn't quite handle it.
All right, as you see, the guy that just batted, Larry Baca, a little interesting fact about him. In fact, of all the games he's done, he's the first one that has come out and said that he wants to make it to the big leagues. He wants to be a big league catcher. That's his goal. And I wish him well in it.
Everybody has to start out somewhere. And here comes Joseph Padilla with runners on first and second.
We'll find out that Earl Hersheiger was a Little Leaguer. Sid Fernandez played for Little League in Hawaii.
And I'm sure a lot of people back there said, well, we wish him luck. And we'll see if he can do it. And they've come on to be some of the greatest pitchers we know today. So here comes Joseph Padilla. Pitch outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Runners on first and second, no out. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. Now Giants are leading 4-1. And here comes the pitch. There's the ball hit to the second baseman, Richard Gutierrez, who can't quite handle it. And a run's going to come in to score. So Johnny Madrid moves over to score, and we got a score of 5-1 now, Giants lead. And here comes the dangerous part of the lineup for the Giants with Steven Madrid, Donald Cox, and Nicolas Rios. So Larry Baca's over on third base now, and Joseph Padilla is over on first base with the ball hit to the second baseman. Here comes Steven Madrid. There's the pitch swung on. There's going to be a play over second. It gets by, and a run's going to come in to score. That's part of the strategy we talked about earlier, trying to draw a throw over to second base. And the runner, Eddie Jiggers, threw it over the second baseman. And Larry Baca came in to score from third. So now we got a score of 6-1 Giants lead with Joseph Padilla over on third base and Steven Madrid at the plate. Madrid's up with Cox on deck and Rios in the hole. This has been the part of the lineup most productive so far for the Giants. 6-1, there's the pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. We got no outs to the Giants here at the bottom of the 4th. James Borrego's working on the mound.
There has to be some coaches out there at this time might say, well, one would take Borrego out. But we don't know the situation of the team when it comes to pitching. Little League has rules they can pitch so many innings a week, and that's it. So maybe he might have pitched earlier this week for a few innings. He only has so many innings allowed.
It's true, and if he's their best pitcher, then perhaps you have enough confidence in him to settle down, maybe not allow any more runs, and maybe their offense could get something going like we did last inning. There's the ball hit in the gap over to right field, and a run's going to come in to score. So another RBI by Steven Madrid, and Joseph Padilla comes in to score. That makes the score 7-1 in favor of the Giants. Now batting will be Donald Cox.
And Donald's been quite successful at the bat. He's been on base both times.
Cox had a solid base hit last inning that scored a run. Madrid's over on first, no out. There's a pitch outside for a ball.
He is taking a signal from the coach.
Here comes the pitch by Borrego. And it's swung off for strike 1. Cox been the most productive hitter so far for the Giants today. They've already scored a few runs this inning to make the score 7-1. And Cox trying to add to that with Madrid over on first. There's a pitch on the outside corner, swung on. There goes the runner over to second, and he's thrown out. Nice throw by Eddie Jagers, and the tag put on by Mark Martinez to get Madrid trying to go to second. That was a judgment call by the coach of the Giants with Donald Cox at the plate, who's been solidly hitting the ball today. Perhaps you don't have to worry about a runner being in scoring position.
I think I'd have left it because, like I say, he had been hitting. I'd have left the guy at first at this point. Because Digger shows that he does have the arm to throw down there.
Right. So, Donald Cox at the plate. Bases are now cleared. And we have a count of 2-2. There's a pitch hit into left field. And it's going to be caught by the left fielder, Adrian Johnson. A nice catch by the outfielder, Johnson, and we have 2 outs.
Oh, he's connected every time. That one, looked like he just swung under. He wanted, it looked like he was going for the home run.
So with 2 outs, here comes Nicholas Rios. Nicholas, at bat with nobody on. There's a pitch in there for a strike. Last time at bat, Nicholas Rios walked. There's a pitch in there for a strike 2.
It looks like he doesn't want to walk this time. He wants to hit.
Swinging real aggressively. There's the pitch by Borrego. High for ball 1. So we got a count of a ball and a strike. 2 outs, and our score is 7-1. Well, ball, 2 strikes, pardon me. There's the pitch for a ball.
I think he tried to change it. What do you think?
It looked like he did, but he couldn't quite get it in there for a strike. There's the pitch outside. Full count. We know Rios has got a good eye. He walked his last time at bat, so you can bet he's not going to be swinging at any garbage. We'll see. There's the pitch in there for strike 3. But not before the Giants can add some more runs to their lead, and they take the lead 7-1. We'll be Matthew Chavez. Pardon me, we're in the top of the 5th inning. And here's Matthew Chavez.
At least he caught it now, before we had to tell him. Matthew goes to Marianne Ben first. And his favorite subject is math. It seems a lot of these kids, their favorite subject is math. And he's been with this team for 1 year.
All right, a ball and a strike to Chavez. That's low for ball 2. Stephen Madrid's still working on the mound for the Giants. Pitched a pretty good game so far, although the Jets were able to score a run last inning. There's a pitch, just missed for ball 3. What Stephen Madrid does not want to do is start walking some batters, getting himself in trouble, getting around back to the part of the lineup that has been pretty much productive so far for the Jets. Pitch in there first, though. At a 3-0 count, Chavez wasn't going to swing, no matter how good that pitch was, and he made the umpire call it a strike. So we got a count of 3 balls and a strike.
I think the Jets are really going to have to get aggressive with their hitting to get back into this game.
There's a pitch outside for ball 4.
And not be scared of taking a walk. To get the man on base, that's what counts.
So Chavez is over on first base, and here comes Adrian Johnson.
Adrian is also a classmate.
There's the ball hits out to the third baseman who can't quite handle it. And they've got runners on first and second, and he's going to try and go over to third, and he's going to be out easily at third. So Chavez tried to be aggressive, going to third, but the ball didn't quite get far enough past the third baseman, Padilla, and Nicholas Rios, the shortstop, picked it up and threw him out at third.
Did you notice after he got thrown out, he didn't look at his third base coach? He went right back in.
That was some of the aggressiveness that you talked about for the Jets. That time it didn't pay off. Maybe it could have been a little more conservative. Meanwhile, we got 1 strike to Richard Gutierrez. Johnson's over on first.
As I was saying earlier, Adrian goes to Marianne Benford.
Pitch outside for a ball.
And I'll tell you what, Mike, this is a first.
Okay.
This is a first. Of all the games we have televised, and we've given you a hard time about your Mets. What do you think Adrian's favorite team is?
Well, let's see. You got to maintain it. Must be the Mets.
That's right. We found you a Mets fan.
Good man. Let's see if we can talk to the umpire about letting him go over to third.
We got a little time out here for some equipment adjustment.
All right, so we got 1 out. And the great, wonderful Adrian Johnson's over on first base. A man I modeled my career after. And there's strike 3 to Richard Gutierrez. So with 2 outs, here comes the catcher, Eddie Driggers. With the runner, Adrian Johnson over on first.
Well, Eddie threw a man out when he was catching last time. So now let's see if he can come around and get a base hit to help his team out.
There's a pitch in there, first strike. And we got a score of 7-1, Giants lead, and we're in the top of the 5th inning. There's a pitch in there for strike 2. Nice pitch, good cut by Jiggers, couldn't quite make contact. And there's strike 3 on a nice pitch that looked like it curved a little bit. We're heading into the bottom of the 5th inning with the score of Giants 7 and the Jets 1.
We'd like to bring you back here in the the bottom of the 5th inning, and we have a correction on the score. The score is Giants 8, Jets 1. And I'll be turning over to Mike at this time to bring you up with the batting situation.
All right, leading it off is Nicholas Marner for the Giants. There's the pitch for a ball, and the new pitcher on the mound for the Jets is Eddie Driggers, who was doing the catching before. And Matthew Chavez will now be over behind the plate. Roger Hurard, who was in center field before, is now playing at first. Meanwhile, there's a ball, pops up to the catcher, who dives but can't quite make the catch. Good hustle by Matthew Chavez. And the pitcher, James Borrego, is now going to be playing some shortstop. And Mark Martinez is now going to be over in center field.
A little bit about Nicholas here, since this is his first time up to bat, is that he goes to Marianne Bedford. His favorite subject is math, and he's a versatile player. By the stats we have, he played second, third, shortstop, infield, and outfield. So that means he'll probably play all over.
There's the pitch in there, first strike. Triggers getting to work on the mound, down by 7 runs. Nicholas Marler at the plate. And there's the pitch in there for a strike. So, Nicholas Marler strikes out.
Got a little confused there. A little confused.
So here comes David Padilla. Padilla came into the game after Hector Fabia got hurt playing third base. With one out, and Eddie Trigger's the new pitcher working on the mound for the Jets. There's the pitch in there for strike one.
Eddie seems to have a little bit of control on his ball. Or maybe just because he's fresh. But maybe they should have brought him in just a couple of innings ago.
Could have been. Although you got to remember, a couple of innings ago, they scored 4-1, and it didn't look like they were in as much trouble. But anyway, he comes in down by 7 runs. Then we got a count of 1-1 to David Padilla. One out. We're in the bottom of the 5th. 8-1's our score. There's the pitch going on for strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes.
Trivia question here for you, Mike.
Okay, I'm 1 for 2 today.
All right, let's see. Who has hit the most home runs in a World Series?
Ooh, there's a pitch to Justin. In a World Series, huh? I don't know. Looks like I'm going to be 1 for 3 today.
Oh, you got to take a guess. You got to give a try at it.
I don't have to, do I?
Yeah, you do.
There's the pitch for strike 3. I don't know. Let's say Mickey Mantle.
That's right. It is Mickey Mantle.
Oh!
Got lucky.
What a lucky guess.
Now for the second half of the question. How many did he hit? You're going to get off that easy.
I don't think that one should count as a question. I'm really not sure.
He hit 18.
Wow.
I think you could ask most kids, they would have said Reggie Jackson
Yeah,
or Dave Parker.
There's a pitch in there for a strike. Well, of course, I'm a big Mickey Mantle fan, so. Now, this is Michael Garcia at the plate, and we got 2 outs. 0-1's the count. Eddie Trigger's working on the mound. Oh, and there's the pitch outside for a strike. That pitch seemed to really fool Garcia. It was outside, and he swung. Couldn't quite reach it.
I think last time Garcia was up, he flied out.
Yeah, I remember he did. He hit a nice solid shot, but he couldn't quite.
Didn't quite clear the fence.
Right. There's the pitch in there for strike 3. So,
that was a change up there, a little bit of a change up.
3 up, 3 down for Eddie Jiggers. And we're headed in to the top of the 6th inning. And our score remains the Giants 8 and the Jets 1. All right, we're ready to start the top of the 6th inning. The Jets with their last chance to come back from a 7-run deficit. And trying to start that off will be Mark Martinez.
Well, here's where the hitting's going to be important at this time. Like you say, this is their last shot at it. If they don't get 7 runs of these times, that will be the game. So we're going to have to see some good ball hitting. But so far, they haven't been able to get to Madrid. They haven't been able to really, other than a few good shots, tag him. Or
there's a pitch in there for a strike. One of those hits was by Mark Martinez, who scored the only run so far for the Jets. He went around with a stand-up triple and came in to score on a box by Madrid. So Madrid with a comfortable lead in their strike 2.
You see that ball curve?
It's amazing how he started off the game with some heat, and as he lost a little zip on it, he's come back with a variety of pitches that have really seemed to keep the batter of the Jets off guard. There's a pitch low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Waiting on deck is James Borrego, who hit a triple last time. And here's the pitch to Martinez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Oh, that sucker really turned, and he got him with a strike.
That broke in.
A beautiful pitch by Steven Madrid, and he has a batter, Mark Martinez, ducking out of the way, and that ball came in there for a strike. What a beautiful pitch. And we got 1 out in the top of the 6th. And here comes James Borrego. There's the pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Madrid really putting on a great pitching performance today. there's a curveball. It's straight up. The pitcher Madrid getting under it, and he lost it in the sun, but the ball will go foul. Madrid lost it in the sun, but a good job by the first baseman, Johnny Madrid, to let that ball go foul. So the batter, James Borrego, stays at bat.
Well, there's one brother helping out the other brother. And he took messes out there. And that's always, even the big leaguers have that problem when it comes to the sun.
So after Madrid shook it off, there's the pitch to Borrego, low for a ball.
I think that's a force of nature that we all have to tend with.
But it is a beautiful day out here anyway, and the sun may have caused a little bit of a problem, but it's a great day for baseball. So with the count of 1-2, here's James Borrego. Low for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think maybe you need to settle down and get away from the junk ball. Just maybe throw a good hard ball in there.
Well, we know Borrego can hit the ball. It was evident his last time at bat when he got a triple. And here comes the pitch by Madrid. It's in there, and there's a ball hit to the shortstop. Rios, who throws them out at first base. Hustling down the first is Borrego. So on one hop, a nice catch by Johnny Madrid.
And you know what? That's a no-win-loss situation for the umpire that made that call. You hear one side of the fans cheering, you hear the other side. Not quite booing, but...
Yeah, but either way, it was good hustling by Borrego and a nice scoop by the first baseman, Johnny Madrid. Meanwhile, we're 1 out from the end of the game. Steven Madrid trying to finish this game, and at the plate is Art Gutierrez. 2 outs, top of the 6th. 8-1 Giants lead, and there's a pitch in there for a strike. So a ball and a strike to Gutierrez. And there's strike 2.
Well, Pitcher, I'll tell you what, Madrid has thrown one fantastic game today. Unfortunately, we'll see a pitcher like him.
An excellent job pitching. He's thrown strikes, got great defensive help from the Giants, and they've done a good job. And there's strike 3.
At this time, we would like to thank the people from Westgate Little League for having us up here so we could tape our game. We'd like to thank the board. We'd like to thank our cameraman up top, Mr. Larry Hyatt, and Al, the president, and everybody, the hospitality they showed us out there. At this time, I'd like to thank my broadcast partner over here,
Mike Levy.
and this is Cliff Ochoa. We'll be seeing you at the next game of the week.